99% fail. I got it. See, look. Second try. Take that. Okay, this is what I was on my Instagram for. I'm trying to look at the history of my Instagram page. I do have a... try to find the... search through my first bag of pennies.
Except for this corner's pretty normal, you know. Except for this corner.
I love it.
Hi, it's dark outside.
My dog. That's that first stream that I made. I think that's the first thing you hear, is just me coughing my guts up. Let's see. September 14th, 2022.
Okay, so this is a penny. This is a penny. And this is no ordinary penny. And I'll show you why. This penny does not have a copper plating. And if you actually look, it's made in 1943. Now, I'm going to tell you why. This is actually steel with galvanization, meaning it has zinc on it. Now, back in the Second World War, we, as a country, United States, needed copper to manufacture our weapons. So we stopped making pennies have copper on them for this. This is a neodymium ring. This is a magnet. So here's a bolt. There you go. There it is. This penny.
That was it. That's the first, basically the start of my numismatic journey. I got an abuser arrested. It's a video.
Abuser gets... Welcome to r/nuclear revenge, where
Nuclear
an abuser
revenge.
gets murdered.
Enemy nuke incoming! It's over!
Very dear friend.
You... Boom!
This manic sociopath of a buddy. Let me outline the cast of this beautiful production. First, there was our victim. He's possibly just the nicest dude I have ever encountered in my life. I'll call him Nice Dude. His home life was pretty good, while it was just him and his mother. His mother was incredibly busy working a very high-paying job to give him a comfortable life, and as such, she wasn't home often. So to make up for that, and to assure her son was living comfortably, she provided him with an insane weekly allowance. Like $500 insane. And so, of course, being a teenager with
more than I make
income than he knew what to do with, he constantly blew it on weed, electronics, and nice clothes. Despite his comfortable living situation, he was by and large just a great dude. Always spent money on his friends, shared his weed, had movie nights. Honestly, I think he just felt a little lonely and wanted to share what he had with people he cared about. Then, we have the agents of chaos in this story.
Ooh,
we'll absolute effing maverick horse due to an equally illogical high school nickname that he demanded everyone call him. Horse and I were buddies, mainly due to equal parts self-preservation and AGT nihilism that simply wanted to release his special brand of unhinged out to the world. He was the friend you made because it was not a matter of if he got sent to jail, but when. And you'd really rather not have your name be part of that headline. This wasn't to say that Horse was a bad dude. Man was really chill for the most part. Genuinely enjoyed our time together. But you got the vibe that there was this underlying problem going untreated. A nice enough dude if you were friends. Didn't even really ever argue with people. But if you wronged him, then you might as well skip the country and change your name. Horse didn't deal in an eye for an eye. He wanted your teeth, eyes, and maybe a few fingers while he was at it. Horse also bought a wild animal off of someone at school. This is unrelated to the story at hand, but I feel it paints a picture of just the kind of impulsive teenage boy who purchases a wild animal that another teenager clearly just found somewhere outside and brought to school, all without having a single clue of how to care for it. I'm going to leave what type of animal he specified, as it was the same as his nickname, but we'll say that it was a dog-sized herbivore that lived uncaged in his bedroom floor for several years. So, on to the story. Nice Dude came to school one day looking like he just got dragged behind a car for a few blocks. We're talking busted blood vessels in his eyes, scrapes and cuts, as well as several swollen bits on his face. He was, and still is, I suppose, a very dark-skinned guy. So just how bruised he was, I can't tell you, but I was going to hazard the guess super. Normal friend reactions, including my own, were immediate concern. Asking if he needed to go to the hospital, if he was alright, and what happened. Turns out, he had invited a few guys over to his place the night before to smoke weed, bought and paid for by him, and play video games. Upon seeing Nice Dude's apartment and all his fancy toys, they decided to repay his kindness by beating the ever-loving stuffing out of him and stealing his stuff. Rational friends told him to file a police report, to which he waved them off, not wanting to cause more issues, not to mention they'd been smoking. Less rational friends suggested he get a gun, which he also declined. Then comes the least rational person in our entourage. Horse had not been present during Nice Dude's explanation of the night before. Being a chaotic nexus of violent urges shaped like a teenage boy, he needed his sleep, and a lot of it. So he never arrived at school less than an hour late. So he stumbles in as we're moving to a new class, takes one look at Nice Dude and asks a single question. Who did it? Nice Dude, being a nice guy who hadn't even wanted police intervention, sure as heck wouldn't sick Horse on these idiots. So he made up some lie about having a concussion and not remembering. Horse didn't buy it and spends the rest of his day up Nice Dude's butt, demanding to know the exact names of everyone involved. Nice Dude eventually buckles, reluctantly naming each of the poor idiots who would likely eventually wish they had gone to the cops instead. Of course, first came violent retribution, Horse's favorite kind. Being an absolutely huge dude with no regard for his own safety and well-being and less regard for others. He was a pretty intimidating guy. He spent the rest of the day skipping out on his classes, hunting down each of the guys involved and beating them quote, until my hands felt wet. Security stepped in once or twice, handling him with the same bored exasperation they face all of our school's problems with. We went to a painfully underfunded school with lots of gang/drug/alcohol/pregnancy problems. And so the security swiftly stopped caring about their jobs. And if you couldn't guess, Horace was a bit of a problem student. The security asked him, "Horace, what do you think you're doing?" "They stole from my friend." Security just gave a deep, exasperated sigh, clearly understanding that they could do nothing about a clear violation of the law of the land, and that the slight Horace had faced demanded swift and extrajudicial retaliation. But also, they did sort of get paid to order the flies themselves out of the gene pool all the time, so some sort of compromise needed to be made for the sake of keeping their jobs. "Just don't send them to the hospital, okay?" It was a gentleman's agreement, to which Horace obliged. Maybe out of respect for the security guards who dealt with his stunts, or maybe because his knuckles were bleeding and that kind of sucked. Either way, there was a world of options for making their lives a living hell, and Horace intended to explore as many as he could. At least until they broke and took his ultimatum. "Give my friends his stuff back, or I won't stop." But they had all weathered a beating. They were high on teenage hubris and also probably weed. What's the worst you could do? Which is an incredibly stupid question to ask about a guy who once begged me to touch the bone poking out of his broken arm. I was crying more than he was. He proceeded to make the next few weeks hell. There was, of course, the petty things. Knocked their lunch out of their hands, swiped homework, locked one of them in the boiler room. Pretty much, if you can imagine a bully from an 80s movie doing it, short of vehicular homicide, what the Flint Goonies, he did it. Then came the heavier stuff. Brought in his dad's bolt cutters. Like I said, security was hot garbage in this school. Alas, only ever watched the front doors, leaving the side doors free to sneak in and out of. And snapped the locks off 2 of their lockers, as one of them used a master lock. Then proceeded to clear out their stuff. Textbooks, an iPod, which I now own, gym clothes, anything he could get his hands on would be swiped. The valuables would be kept, but things he didn't care about were usually ripped up and left in the hall to be discovered later, along with the broken lock. Their cars were his favorite target by far. He stole their hubcaps, slashed their tires, left deep scratches along the side of their cars. One had a dick scratch into their passenger door. At one point, he borrowed my tire iron to straight up remove one of their car tires and roll it off into the nearby park where he dished it in a patch of dry fenced-off scrub that hadn't been burned back, which would be a real fun discovery for the park department, I'm sure. He had entertained the idea of getting a skunk into one of their cars, but gave up when he realized we live in a city and he had no idea where to get or how to transport a skunk. Backpacks were snatched as well, mostly dumped in the ladies' locker room showers with the water on, though he did light one on fire if memory serves. Textbooks were free unless you ruined them, and then you had to pay out of pocket. And our school
oh my god, are you kidding me?
Covers fell off, fine. All the pages are drawn on.
They're foundations! Damn it!
Was destroyed. Well, they couldn't do anything for you and had to order a new one.
Actually, I might need them because
he tried to tell a teacher that one of them had cheated off him, but given his scholastic history, that was quickly tossed out as dumb. And sit back down, Horace. The final nail in the coffin was ruining a senior's relationship with the girl he'd been dating since freshman year. So Horace had quite a few lady friends on account of being a very large, intimidating guy who would take any excuse, like perhaps a pretty girl complaining about a creep, to start a fight. Needless to say, they were keen on helping him out. One girl I'll call Praying Mantis decided to help in his crusade. She managed to finesse dick pics out of our hapless senior. Okay. Of course, he had a girlfriend, but he was also a very horny teenager.
Oh my god. Come on, people. You gotta do better than that.
She sweet-talked him all the way out of his pants, and then proceeded to send every photo to his girlfriend, and spin a tale
oh man, that's evil right there.
How she hadn't known that he had a girlfriend, and she felt so bad. Of course, teenage girls are kinda dumb, and Praying Mantis got called a slut and a jerk and all sorts of other names. But come the next day, we still find that cheating senior very much dumped. After about a month or so of non-stop abuse, Forrest never really felt an obligation to go to class, so he could spend all his free time on revenge if need be. Teachers just passed him with D's to get him out of their classes. He reminded them of his ultimatum. That evening, lo and behold, Nice Dude got a knock on his door and his muggers were back. This time, with most of his things in tow. They didn't return everything. I believe a few games and a Blu-ray player were not returned, but Nice Dude lied and told Forrest he got everything back for the sake of ending his rampage. I do want to say that Forrest faced some sort of punishment for his many crimes. However, over his career as my friend, he informed me of so many suspensions, detentions, and extra work that he never planned to do that it all sort of blended together after a while. And I can't tell you how long he was out of school. But I can say that he was a junior both my junior and senior years. So the comments are roughly divided between being like, man, I wish I had a friend like Horace, and speculating as to what that animal could have been. The most popular conclusions are that it was either a pig or a goat. And in either case, it really helps paint the picture that this dude was flippin' nuts. Our next Reddit post is from Seattle Martini. And as a warning before we get into this story is about date rape. When people ask, what's the worst thing you've ever done, my mind instantly loads the following story into the brain, but I've never shared it.
I have to skip this one.
Obligatory background. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest to an entertainment industry family. I spent a lot of my formative years on the road touring. It was a deceptively conservative life. When I was around 8 or 9 years old, I witnessed a jazz sax player from a band that my dad had both shoot up and drop dead. This really drove home, just say no. I played music all through school and started working professionally at a young age. I was pretty much straight edge until college. I got around to reading some Hunter S. Thompson and decided that a bong hit wasn't going to kill me. A few years out of school, around 1991, I started a small independent recording studio. This was back before every kid with a laptop could record in their bedroom. Anyhow, my company headquarters became a favorite hangout for local kids. I became pretty well connected in that scene. I started experimenting with more and more types of recording drugs, and subsequently found myself with friends who were either major dealers or dealer adjacent. In this clique, there were 3 or 4 dudes you know the type. Big bleached hair, nice cars, etc. There was this one dude in particular who always had a bad vibe. As a young man in my 20s, really passionate about the if not more. But even when I was out clubbing looking to get laid, I never pushed my agenda. I used coercion.
I broke my bones to destroy a man's life. Oh god. This should be good. There's one that says I attacked my ex with 10,000 bees.
He needed help with, stating it should take minutes and it could be $50. Also states that he needs it done by the end of the day since he's apparently in a tight spot. Also fair enough. I'm not going to turn it down just because it's a tight deadline. I get in and find out his code was very sloppy. The code was nearly impossible to read. His site is in single space and a lot of second-rate code. Which is fair because it's pretty easy. I can tell man this code is horrible and I need to reformat. Then it turns out the new links that he wanted in there broke everything. I told him that it would likely take about 6 hours to get all this sorted out, and he said that was fine. Compensate me accordingly.
Yeah, coders get stupid money.
And he agrees. Says he can pay me the next day. And I try to call him.
Two.
I like to contact him while still getting there. I went to log into the site to cut my losses. Turns out he's changed the password. At this point, it's clear that this was planned. So I'm pissed. I email him saying that if I don't hear anything within 48 hours, I'll be serving more papers and demand a payment to his address that I had to find through an ancestry site. Subsequently call his apartment complex to confirm before I assume something He doesn't email for 24 hours, and this morning I find out that I'm still logged into the site through the Squarespace app. Clearly, this is a huge is just insane and way too much. Now, apparently you can pay me on Monday, which I've heard plenty of already. This pissed me off even more, so I stated I would continue adding the site will continue to be mine. Now, this site is indeed lagging, but every page autoplays terrible SoundCloud rappers, and all the links he had me place now take the user to cool math games. I considered Pornhub, but perhaps that's a bit much. I've never done
Cool
this
math games. That's gone now. I think they shut it down.
Piece of garbage. I should also state that I pride myself in my work and generally run on a very professional level. However, I won't accept no payment and being dicked around for weeks. OP, if he continues to drag me along, he should change his website to Beats Me, and then see how long it takes for him to pay me. Our next Reddit post is from a Gale one. I'll start off by saying this happened to my sister, and the actions taken were hers. My sister has always gotten along very well with teachers, and has a habit of forming active relationships with them, to the point that she still talks to her fifth grade English teacher, along with many others, decades later. This happened about 15 years ago. My sister was a student at Job Corps, a government-run live-on-campus vocational training center, studying hotel and motel management. She got on extremely well with her hotel management teacher, better than pretty much every teacher she had up to that point. One day, the teacher goes to the center's dean's office and walks in on a paper shredding session. It turned out there was some pretty major embezzling happening at the center, as in more than 60% of the funds from the center were being stolen. The teacher was appalled, and despite some rather lucrative offers made, refused to join in on these acts. Less than a week later, the teacher was fired for troubling. This was especially bad. The teacher was only 2 years away from retiring, and being fired lost her retirement package.
Aww.
Needless to say, my sister was pissed. Knowing how these things typically work, and that almost any report she tried to make would just be swept under the rug, if it was taken seriously at all, she came up with a plan and took things nuclear. Over the next month or two, my sister managed to gather some basic evidence of embezzling. Nothing concrete, but enough to warrant considerable investigation by the authorities. She took the little evidence she was able to gather, along with the story of what happened to her teacher, and sent the info in an email to the Job Corps regional director. Now, like I said, she knew that her email would likely be ignored, or the event slipped under the rug. So she the email was CC'd to every single major
Carbon
person
copy.
in the Job Corps chain of command, all the way up to the national director, as well as to anyone who tangentially related to the Job Corps in the upper echelons of the Department of Labor, and every member of Congress, as well as the U.S. President's office. Remember, this was a government-run program. All in all, the email was sent to over 2,000 people. Basically, she not only sent the report, but sent it in such a way that everyone who got it could also see everyone else who got it. And she sent it to way more people than would be needed to ensure that the issue couldn't be swept under the rug. 2 weeks later, after the investigation finished, never seen the government work so fast on anything that wasn't collecting owed taxes. Only 5 or 6 staff members out of 20s that worked in the center still had their jobs. And at least 5 of the ones fired, including the dean, were facing major criminal charges, with the rest facing minor charges. I'm not sure of the exact figure on how much was stolen, but it was well into the 7 digits. The embezzling has been happening for years. The teacher got a very nice severance package post
Okay,
investigation.
so, how much health does this a-hole have? 9,000? Oh god, we can't get out of this. done without a fight, homeboy. He's getting hurt. Yes, I'm gonna kill him. Ooh, I had to get a reward for that. Oh, my heart's beating. I mean, I could get... Oh, I got a ton of pearls. And I'm just gonna... Is it like an alpha meg thing? It says it drops an alpha megalodon fin. I don't see a megalodon fin. You know, like, there's like one of those like little loot boxes. There's one. Black pearls. I saw those. Dude, I think if I didn't have the saddle, I probably would be dead. Oh, I'm so stupid. It didn't drop those pearls. I collected them. Oh, really? Rip you, villain. What are those? Those are the boxes. Sorry, Maggie, I almost got killed. Oh my god, it's almost 9. Oh wow, we have a bunch of time to spare. He deadass just pulled a fast one on me. What? How did he do that? That's an underwater cave. You can't hide that. You know what? Just for the safety part, I'm just gonna bend this off out of here. Be careful, there's a very strong alpha meg over here. I'm sorry. I think this is the same with other people, but I can't think about Black Pearl without thinking about, like, the Pirates of the Caribbean. Because there's a ship called Black Pearl, if I'm not wrong, from the movie. Oh, so the possesses the same aggro range as a normal mag. The alpha does. I'm reading it on the wiki, and that, yeah. It tends to get stuck near beaches and retreat due to fleeting AI. Suckers can abuse this by outrunning the shark while even at normal. Black pearls. That might be all we need for a boat. Not just a boat. A motor boat. This thing's torpidity literally takes forever to decrease. Much about pearls. I'm never crafting electronics with pearls. I could just go kill tech and oh yes, we can. We can build it. To build it, we're going to need like 1,200 metal. That is a price that we're going to have to pay. But it'd be cool. I want to start. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a bummer, like, you know, like 1200 iron, 1200 metal, but, you know, we can get that relatively quickly. We probably use the metal on our island to replenish stuff. I want to craft this. So first, the big part is we need to get the we need to get tons of polymer. So it takes 2. And I might as well start crafting that. And then we need 4 more stacks of blast space, which... Oh my god, look what's inside that chest. Nothing much, but just tons of stone, you know. If you don't know where I'm going, look at the facts. We have a bunch of chitin in our base. We can take this chitin and we can combine it with that to make cementing paste. I did it right. I said it right. While we wait for that, we're gonna go move the metal. I just saw that. Here, you keep it. Oh my god, that's where my clothes are. Okay, I don't think I've ever been to the top part of my building after I built it. You know, it's awesome. I can casually craft approximately 617 cross cables. Okay, so we need hide, some wood, we go cut down some trees. Those metal nodes probably might provide us with a good amount of metal that we need for the boat. At least like replenishing the supply. Some fiber. And that should be good. I need some hide. And the casual stack of hide. Let's be the wood, put some of that, and get the hide. Okay, what now? For the obsidian. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're good anymore. I'm also gonna start gathering oil. Wait, why is the United States on my door? Ah! I know, I'm corny. The moment the United States sniffs oil, it just comes down and destroys your door. Okay, I got 64 black pearls on me right now. Add here. In about 200 seconds, around 240 seconds before that stuff gets done. You know, we're gonna need to get some obsidian to get from this chest right here. Yeah, 150 of this. It says we had enough obsidian, but it's gonna consume all the rest of the obsidian that it needs to craft. Boom. That should be it. I mean, yep, the polymer is the problem. TP, the polymer's the problem. Look how I got some nice skull skins, like T-Rex skull skins. I don't even know which one's the original one anymore. I'm gonna look at my boat and see if I have. Might as well look at. Probably have oil. I think I'm trying to put health on this one, and its health level is just pathetic. Meanwhile, yeah, this guy should have a bunch of oil. Just can't tell the United States about it, though. Got it? Got it. Yeah, there's oil in every tech Rex because oil in every Rex because I use them to go kill tech dinosaurs. I could get more oil by mining it. Oh, this has a bunch of oil. I mean, I can also go take this dude down. I can go get oil. I'm just lazy and reluctant to do it. I need to do it. There's this one dude, like this one dinosaur that's like rocky and it swims, and it can collect oil at such a good efficiency. Not grindable? What do you mean not grindable? Three, two, one. Oh man, if Wyatt was in the server, he'd be getting a massive XP boost right now. Oh, we better get ready for this thing, because I've heard it weighs a lot. One motorboat. Wow, we can still move. Oh. I've been waiting for a motorboat. This is like Raft, but on steroids, apparently. You know, it's gonna be good when it takes up half of it. When it literally just takes up like 66 to 80% of all of your weight. Alright guys, 3. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna put there. Sorry. It's stupid how I literally hit my Rex. And I didn't mean. And yeah, I forgot to put fuel, but ain't got no gas in it. Ain't got no gas in it. Look at that motor boat. Apparently this thing destroys boats by like a long margin, and I can place like 40 more structures on them than I can with the raft. I think it's one of the ones over here I place a bunch of gasoline in. Yeah, oh yeah, we have a good amount of gas. Slam this oil right here. Haha, I have to pay $3 plus dollars a gallon for gas. Guess what? I make my own homemade gas. It's like 50% alcohol. What? My boat can have a gender? It's boat gender. Ooh. Oh boy, holy! This thing is fast! Dude, look how fast. Damn, this thing sails circles around my boat. Damn, this thing is fast. I can barely control it. I actually kind of feel safer on this because I can go really fast and run away from enemies. I mean, this thing is fast as hell. I mean, duh, it's got a motor. This is so fun. I've never had so much fun on a boat in the game for a while. Now I'm spoiled to it. The only thing I don't like about it is it's hard to control, but it's fast. This is well worth it. Oh, watch this. It can go backwards. Okay, so what I know how it works. So when that percentage is slowly going to tick down to 0, and when it does, that's how much of a fuel unit, right? So a gasoline unit, that's how much percent. So like the unit, there's 58% of the unit of gas left, and then when it goes to 0, it's gonna start consuming another one. Oh God, sexy boat. Now I want to build a warship. Apparently you can only build like 90 on those. Okay, ready. Okay, now let's try this. That just takes off instantly. Zero. Can't wait to show my cousin this. He'll be surprised when he sees that I actually got myself a freaking boat, a motorboat. I'm addicted to this thing. I'm in love. I'm in ecstasy. I love this thing. And I can combat park it like this. Which takes a little bit to combat park, but you can shoot out like this. You gotta be careful because look, see? You don't wanna leave it on. You gotta turn it off. Okay, I'm gonna go get some cookies. Oh god! I love cookies. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go a bit of a break. Alright, guys.